Katrina Kent once said that life is a series of moments, and that to live in those moments is to be success. But what does that mean? I mean, that's a beautiful thought, but in a world of Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, what does it really mean? I mean, I get the idea that life is a series of moments, right? I mean, I can remember back to being a kid and how a lot of those moments would define me. I remember summers learning how to throw a baseball with my dad, my father trying to teach an uncoordinated kid how to catch a ball in a glove. I remember summers in cheap small town dugouts sliding on a batting glove that I would rarely use because I rarely ever hit the ball. I remember devouring sunflower seeds, trying to be cool like the other guys. And I remember the one time that I accidentally hit a pop fly and stood in amazement as the crowd around me, including my parents, yelled and cheered for me to run. And isn't that life sometimes? Those pop flies where we stand in awe and we're not quite sure what to do. I mean, I guess I've always sensed a responsibility of leadership to my family. I mean, for me it relates to Ninja Turtles, so don't laugh at me. I mean, it makes sense when you know my family. I'm the oldest of 4 boys and a little sister. And so for me, it really resonated with me, the idea of Leonardo, the leader of the pack, if you don't know who he is, kind of the solemn samurai and the one who feels the sense of responsibility. And so when life wasn't easy, and I mean for the most part, life wasn't that bad. We were well loved and well clothed and well fed. But when it wasn't easy, like when I watched my father carry my manic depressive mother out to his car to take her to treatment, like my dad being gone for weeks at a time, that sense of responsibility really struck me. That I would need to step up and lead like Leonardo, whether that leadership was always wanted or not. And for me, I really began to sense that moments built and moments were meant to test us and challenge us. I don't even know if my dad remembers, but I found an old box of his and there was a plaque in there, and I can't remember exactly what it said now, but I do remember that it made this comment, this ideal, that really the only thing we ever carried with us was our last name. And that because that was the only thing that stuck with us, we had to be very careful not to leave any black marks on it. And so for me, life became this challenge of making sure that I did the right thing so that I didn't leave any black marks on my family's last name, this idea that I had a sense of leadership and responsibility to that last name. Until I got to college, and I remember sitting in my dorm room with a few other guys, watching a video of a pastor in Seattle, and he struck me with a thought that I'd never really absorbed before, and this idea that we can't earn grace. And the verse that he pulled from was, I believe it was Ecclesiastes, and it said that it was by grace you've been saved through faith, not as a result of works. This is not of yourselves, but it is a gift of God, that no man should boast. And this blew my mind. I mean, this idea that up to this point, I'd been living based on moments and working to make each of those moments perfect. But really it wasn't about making those moments perfect. It was about a God who came down and died for me and loved me and gave me the freedom and the grace to enjoy those moments, to live them magnificently, but most importantly, to live them with purpose. And so from that point forward, these moments were no longer a burden that dragged me down, but these moments were freedom to enjoy life, to know that life has purpose. So the purpose of that first kiss with my wife, awkwardly in my dorm room with the sound of the Jackson 5 blaring in the background from opening weekend at college, to the last moment that I really shared with my grandfather as he taught me how to properly shave a block of ice to make the best homemade ice cream, to the moment that I heard my little boy cry for the first time as I told my wife that we were having a beautiful baby boy. And so maybe I would tweak Karina's thought. Maybe I would say that living life successfully isn't just living in the moment, and it's a challenge when we're told socially that we need to be able to condense down these moments into 160 characters. Maybe the idea really is that we're meant to enjoy these moments and that we're meant to live them purposefully. So the question for me from here on out is, Zach Eckert, how are you going to live with purpose?